Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and in today's video, I'll be giving you all a tour of my second island, Aleif. And once again, we're here getting started with my flyover. And here at the airport, before we get started, I'll go ahead and show you guys my map and my flag again. So my flag was actually commissioned by Cozy Oak on Twitter. I'll go ahead and link her in the description. I actually commissioned my flag from her before I even started building anything on the island. So I kind of gave her what I was thinking of going for around the island, and she just captured it perfectly. I love how it came out so much. It's super adorable, so I definitely recommend commissioning them. And then for my map, it's definitely not as, I guess, detailed of a map as on my other island, Wildwood. But since the theme for this island was kind of like vintage, springtime, kind of like farmland, I don't really know how to explain it. I didn't want too many cliffs. I wanted some of it to be left like flat, open farmland. So for my villagers, we have Bill, Gabby, Grizzly, Maple, Maggie, Blair, Lolly, Winnie, Daisy, and Bones. And I wanted to go for some more kind of like farm animal themed kind of villagers. Not all of them necessarily, but some of them, like Maggie and stuff. And then getting started with the entrance. Again, the entrance was the first area I built when I started this island. It's just always kind of a good starting point for me to help me get a good flow going for the island and help me kind of like hone in on the theme that I'm going for. So the entrance is just super overgrown and tucked away. It's kind of almost like a little secret village. You kind of have to like weave in and out of the trees to get into the village. It was super fun to build, placing all the trees and like finding all the cute little items to put around to kind of set the vibe for like the farmland kind of theme. So getting started, we'll head straight up this way. We have a little path that leads right over to resident services, so if you visit via the dream address, you'll start here and the entrance is pretty close. And I'll also have tools left out, like a ladder, some accessories right out on this bench. And then right over here we have a little pumpkin patch. And then we have some silos stacked up on the cliffs up here. And then just a couple girls chatting. And then if we head up this way, we have the path that leads to my house. Since my house was so far away from the airport on Wildwood, I definitely wanted to keep it closer to the airport on this island. So we have this nice platform up here with a really pretty view of resident services. So we'll head over this way. I have a tiny little mini apiary over here. And then we'll have the bridge to my house. And after my entrance, this is the second thing I built, the second area I built on the island. I have this weird thing where I usually leave my house for last, and then I'm kind of like stuck with a very small area to build with, so I wanted to get it out of the way. I wanted to give myself a nice big ol' yard with waterscaping and cliffs behind it, and a picnic area. I'm super happy with how my yard came out on this island. And for the interior, I don't have it fully done. I do have some of the rooms blocked off. I just got so burnt out on doing interiors on Wildwood since I had 4 resident rep houses, I believe, that were all completely decorated at one point. So I just kind of did some of the rooms in here. So the main room of the house, I have it set up as a living space. We have... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We have the little living room area over here with some coffee and some donuts. We have a little reading nook in this corner, a little writing nook in this corner over here, and then just kind of like a little garden area inside. And then the only other room in the house that's decorated is the bedroom right over here. And for the bedroom, I definitely wanted it to feel really cozy and I guess, yeah, vintage. It doesn't really feel that vintage, I guess, but it definitely feels cozy. We have our little bed over here, and then on this wall we have all of our dresses and a little space to get ready, all the socks dropped all over the floor. And then we have our BFF Goldie's photo over here, even though she doesn't even live on this island. Before moving on to the rest of the island, I'll go ahead and go over my beaches down here. For this whole beach, I just have it kind of set up as like a overgrown kind of pathway. We have a super cute beach shower set up over here. I've never built anything like this before. I see it on Pinterest a lot, so I wanted to try it for this island, and I love how it came out. It was definitely super fun to build. We have a nice big picnic space over here. You can lounge out in the sun. And then this beach actually leads right up to the campsite. We have another little seating area over here. And then we have another picnic spot over here. You can sit and make your meals. And then we have the campsite. And I actually extended the campsite all the way over here, so I have it kind of like a little, I guess like a little commune area. Everyone can camp together and have a bonfire. And then right up this pathway, we have my lavender field. This was super fun to build. I feel like I always end up accidentally spawning a bunch of purple hyacinths, and then I just feel bad having them waste away on the beach. So I finally built my first lavender farm after having this game for over a year. To kind of tie in with the lavender farm, we have like, I guess like a candle shop and like an oil shop. I guess you can come here and make candles and scented oils with the lavender that you gather. Right past here, we have another wishing well area. This is just kind of like an area that was kind of neglected for a while. It was just kind of a big open spot, and I always see these stone wells on lots of the like the vintage themed islands. So I just wanted to make a cute little wishing well area. And then the beach, we have just lots of more summertime decorations, and it leads straight up to the little fishing area over here. Lots of the fishing tournament items, the lighthouse. And then this path leads straight back to resident services. We'll go ahead and head up this way first. Right over here we have another laundry area. You can come over here and sew and repair your clothes and then give them a nice wash. And then this is the trail that leads to the kind of more forested area. And then right over here we have my first ever sunken waterfall build. I've always wanted to build sunken waterfalls. I just always kind of felt like I wasn't good enough at waterscaping, but since I had a new island, I had plenty of room to kind of experiment with the waterscaping tool, and I'm super happy with how this came out. We have the nice scenery in the background with the wind turbines and the silos. And then headed up this way, we have Maple and Grizzly's apiary. I actually had Maple and Grizzly on Wildwood originally, so this is similar to how their houses were set up there. I just imagine it as they ran out of space on Wildwood and heard of a big open plot of land for sale on Aleif, so they just packed up and moved over here. So we have lots of the honeybee models, lots of the dropped nests and the bee houses, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called. And actually right over here we have a little picnic space. I imagine that with the honey they gather, Maple goes home and bakes lots of goods, and then people can gather here and just have the fresh made baked goods that everyone around the island came together to make. And then right up here we'll have Grizzly's house. I always like putting his house like at the very back of the island. Since he is a cranky personality type, I just imagine he wants his privacy, he wants peace and quiet. So he just kind of has his little cranky old man retreat all the way back here. You can just enjoy the peace and quiet. And then the bridge that is right behind resident services leads into kind of like a mini villager neighborhood. We have a little kind of cabbage farm right over here. And the first house we'll have in the neighborhood is Gabby's house. I think her yard was the first yard I did on this island, so it kind of helped me set the mood for how I was gonna lay out and kind of decorate all of the other yards. I wanted them all really open. I didn't want them kind of closed in and like shut off. So just lots of flowers, very narrow paths leading to their doorways, and they all have little areas to have their tea and their snacks. And then straight back here, we'll have Daisy's house. And Daisy's house is still, I think, my favorite villager yard I've ever built. Just all the colors together really just blended perfectly. And usually I don't like decorating with blue, but since the shade of blue that's in her exterior is so soft, it made it a lot easier to kind of incorporate little pops of really light blue here and there. So she has her little picnic space. She has a little area to sit and have her coffee. And then directly next to her is Bones. He's a lazy, so he loves his bugs. I have a nice little bug cage out here for him. And then he has books so he can read all about his buggy friends. Another little bee house. And then this way we have our lake house. This is another area that was really fun to build. Just like with the sunken waterfalls, I always have the hardest time using the waterscaping tool, and I've always wanted to build a lake, and I just never had the space for it again. So it was super satisfying having a brand new island, lots of open space. So after I saw Diana Daisy's make her lake house, I was really inspired to try it out for myself, and it was definitely one of my favorite times I've ever had building. We do have a little hoppy point right over here, so you can get a closer look at the house. The inside is not done. I couldn't do it. I have a pipe hidden behind this tree back here, but I actually forgot to put another pipe somewhere else that leads to it, so just ignore that. And then right up this stairwell here, we have Blather's tent. Since I don't like the appearance of the museum, and I didn't know for the longest time that you can keep him in his tent, when I restarted, I was dead set on leaving him in his tent, and I'm so glad I did. It was definitely much more fun decorating out here instead of trying to figure out how to decorate a huge museum in such like a rural, overgrown themed island. So we have all of the bug catching gear right over here, some plants, some butterfly models, and if we sneak past here, we have his tiny little study area. And then right back here we have Winnie's house. Her exterior is so unique, so I was super excited to decorate it, especially with these barrels. I feel like they just match so perfectly with her house. We have lots of gardener items. I imagine she loves to garden. And then we have a little mushroom farm over here for her. And her house actually leads straight back to the secret beach. Just again, very simple. And I actually never got to meet Red. He has never showed up on this island, so I didn't really have to worry about keeping it open and like a clear walkway for when he arrives. So I just made a cute little area to relax at that kind of ties in with the rest of Winnie's yard. And before heading back down this way, I'll go ahead and show you the stretch of beach that's back here. We also have a little mini garden right over here. And then a little beachside picnic. And this beach is actually my little butterfly beach, and it leads straight up to another kind of mini research area. And then this path leads right back over into the shopping district kind of area. We have our Able sisters right over here. Lots of like vintage kind of looking dresses outside, little farm boots, and then a nice area to come and sit and sew and wait for the shop to open. And then we have resident services right over here, and if we head down this way, we have my Nook's Cranny. I actually have it set up as a farm-to-table brunch restaurant. So over here we have all the incoming goods, all the fresh produce from the farms around the island. And then on the beach directly below it, we have the area to come and sit and eat. I'll occasionally find my villagers sitting out here, and I think it's so cute. And if we sneak back around this way, this bridge leads straight over to Bill's house. I built him a little duck pond. I imagine that Molly is his long-distance girlfriend, so he has a photo of her outside. Lots of duck models. We do also have a little mini plant shop right up here. And then before heading up to the rest of the villager homes up here, I have my rock garden. I saved this for last, just so it would be so much easier to build it instead of trying to find the rocks that spawned all over the island. This was the last little bit of land that was completely untouched, so it was a lot easier to build it this time around than on my last island. But for this rock garden, I didn't want it to feel too symmetrical or, I guess, man-made. So I just decorated it very messily and, like, cluttered up. So I imagine it's just completely abandoned. The flowers and the weeds have completely taken over. And I guess before heading up to the villager homes, we'll go ahead and look at this stretch of beach as well. Right over here, beneath our little duck pond, we have another little spot to lay out and rest in the sun and have a little picnic. Then another little picnic. And then for my pier, I finally have a long pier. So I had a lot more fun decorating this one than the one that I have on Wildwood. My Wildwood pier was like, I don't know, it felt like it was like 2 spaces long. It was just so hard to decorate. I felt like I couldn't do anything on it. So this one, I just made it very cluttered up. Lots of like writing themed items. And then another little boho picnic area. And then right over here, I have my little vineyard on the beach. Just like with the purple hyacinths, I kept, with how many green mums I had on the island, they kept spawning purple mums. And I just can't bring myself to throw out hybrids. So I plucked them all and I made just like a little wine and cheese area. Then we have another little picnic area. And then that leads right back up to the butterfly beach. And then the first home that we have in this little mini neighborhood is Blair's house. I gave her a tiny little kind of sewing area right over here. I love how deep and like rich the color of her door is. So I wanted to tie it in with more of the kind of chocolate tone woods in this little area. She has a nice little coffee area and a spot to do her laundry. And then heading this way, we have just kind of another little filler space to sit down and read. And then through this path right over here, we have a tiny little river that leads straight to Lolly's house. Lolly has her own little painting area. And she even has her own little kind of wheat farm. And I never knew how cute Lolly's house was, and then I saw her on crossing Kaylee's Island, and she had her yard decorated so beautifully, and I just knew I needed to have Lolly instantly. Just the bluish kind of green tone of her roof is so unique. I feel like I haven't seen any other villager homes with like that tone in the exterior. So yeah, when I found her hunting, I was definitely super excited to give her a nice big ol' yard. And then the final house we have up on this cliff area is Maggie's house. She is my pride and joy, my angel. So she has the biggest cliff top property possible. Another area where she can come and sit and read and have some baked goods. Lots of flowers. She has her own kind of like mini meadow up here, I guess. And if you sneak behind here, you actually, behind her house, have a great view of the lake house, which looks just beautiful at sunrise and sunset. It is chef's kiss, so pretty when the sun is going down over here. And that just about wraps up the tour, and I truly hope you all enjoyed. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean the world to me. With Aleif now being complete, I will be resetting and starting a whole new island soon, and we'll be recording the entire process, so there will be lots of new content coming to my channel, like speed builds, let's plays, villager hunts, code shopping, and more. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!